Welcome to the Cannon County Chamber Connection. And of course, each month we come to you, or we try to, with events and things that are happening in Cannon County. And of course, this is all made possible by DTC Communications. And we can't thank them enough for giving us this opportunity. A lot of people would pay a lot of money to do this. Today is Veterans Day, and we want to say our thanks to all of our veterans, past, present, future. You know, our veterans and their families sacrifice a lot to keep us safe. So we certainly want to say thanks to them every time we see them. And for the ones who need a helping hand, hey, everybody should be first in line to give them a hand because they deserve it. And we were having some Veterans Day activities on Saturday the 14th, but due to the COVID outbreak, or spike, I should say, in Cannon County, they have canceled those. But of course, they're still veterans, whether they have a celebration for them or not. And our American Legion is very active in making sure that we acknowledge these people. And if you've ever been to our courthouse and see the Wall of Honor, I think they have just about everybody that ever served in any capacity. And any of our military branches are on the wall in the courthouse. And I think that's good. That's a good thing. Also, the Chamber has been working with the Department of Tourism. And one of their goals, and I don't really know how we do this exactly, is to encourage tourism, but they want it done safely. And that's kind of hard whenever the goal of keeping this down is wearing a mask, social distancing, and washing your hands. So to keep that in mind, when we want travelers to come here, we do have tourist attractions, but we want them to be safe. We don't want them to bring it to us, and we don't want to give it to them. So if you do come to activities here, please keep in mind that if you wear a mask and if you try to social distance wherever it would be, that's for your safety and theirs. And so for the love of Tennessee and the love of Cannon County, we want you to travel safely. And there'll be more coming as far as for advertisement having to do with that in the future. But right now, we're trying to have events. The holidays are coming, families are trying to get together and celebrate. But you know, you have to stop and think, if you have someone in your family that is older or has previous health conditions, or even if you have little children and babies, please keep that in mind when you do your celebrations. And even when you get out in public, you know, we want our businesses to flourish, and we do. But if you're asked to wear a mask, if you go into a restaurant, or you're asked to maybe limit the capacity, a good example of that has been the Art Center. Their theater, they've had to cancel several performances this year, but they have their theater set up where it is distanced if you come here. And they do require a mask. And that's not a bad thing. So, you know, just think about that when you're asked to wear a mask, because I know so many people get so upset about it and get mad. We're just trying to keep you safe. And you should have the same feeling about it. You don't want to give it to anybody, and you don't want anybody to give it to you. It doesn't have anything to do with your constitutional rights or anything else. It doesn't. This pandemic is real, and it's here. And now Cannon County has new cases every day, and they're spread by a lot of different things. You know, this pandemic doesn't care if you're in church or you're in a bar. You can get it in either one. So just remember that when you get out in the public, and we know that it's not rational for us to think you're never gonna go anywhere. But I guess one of the things you've got to look at is, would you rather have it where it gets so bad where everything has to be entirely shut down? Or do you want to do your part and be maybe partially open and able to go to church? Right now, our high school is closed and will be until the 30th of this month. I think that our offices in the courthouse are closed. Our city hall, that's where you pay your water bills and everything, and the drive-through will be open, but the lobby is closed. So this thing is spiking up again, and we want to take that into consideration. But like I say, people want to shop. We don't want our businesses to go under, but in all consideration, you got to do what you can do to help if you want to be able to shop and go to those places. So, and the other thing I'll say is, right now I think we still have toilet paper, so that hasn't come to pass yet, but it may. Anyway, we just encourage you to celebrate safely as you can. I do have a guest with me here today, and he is the newly re-elected mayor of Woodbury, Mr. Andy Duggan.
Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning.
Hey, I want to elaborate on the veterans. Happy Veterans Day. Appreciate all the veterans. I'm with you. We wouldn't, pandemic or not, we wouldn't be able to enjoy what we enjoy if it wasn't for the veterans.
That's right.
So,
it's true.
we want to keep them all. And like I said, if you see them on the street, thank them. Thank them. They don't really. You'll find for the most part that they're humble people, and they don't, they don't expect to be thanked, but I think we ought to expect it of ourselves to thank them. So happy Veterans Day to them.
One of the branches that, well, not branches because everybody served over there, but one of the things they're highlighting is the Vietnam veterans, because they kind of maybe they didn't have a lot of ticker tape parades when they came home.
It was a different war, wasn't it?
It was over there for a long time.
Also, want to touch base on what you said about the pandemic. Right now, I am, and I'm sure the county executive, we're following the lead of Governor Lee. Of course, he supersedes any powers that we have, and I don't know what all executive orders are still in play. I know that there's, of course, the schools are back in session, and were back in session. The capacity on restaurants and things has been lifted. I don't know if that's going to come back into play. Of course, we'll have to deal with that when it does. On the local level, we may be coming to you, encouraging, going ahead and going back to that. Now I know that it hurts. I know to have a business to hurt to go to 50%, but if we could get ahead of the game and maybe go back to getting takeout and doing deliveries and limiting the capacity on our restaurants and things of that nature. Like I said, right now I'm just encouraging maybe a volunteer type thing, because I'm afraid that maybe if we don't get this under control, then it may come to a mandated thing to the state, and it may come down to shutting back down back like it was in the spring. Of course, we were fortunate. I know that most of our restaurants made through with takeouts and deliveries, and people were very encouraging. They ordered, and they did the curbside service, and just like the the waitresses, you know, if, I know I did, and it wasn't just me, it was other people too. You know, they heavily tipped their waitresses. You know, that brought stuff out because they knew that they weren't getting the tips like normal. So, but we live in a good community, a good town, and we really look out for one another. And I think now's the time to step up and do that. So, I know the courthouse closed. Of course, it's closed normally on Wednesdays, but it'll be closed till the first of the week. Right now, till the first of the week. Schools are going to start closing. Today's their last day until the 24th, I think, the 24th or 30th.
Is that all of them,
Yeah,
Andy?
yeah, that's across the board, yeah. Grammar schools, high school, of course, all of them are going to be closed. City Hall, as Carolyn was saying, we're going to close City Hall, the lobby, the window will remain open. If for some reason that you can't conduct unnecessary business, just come to the window, let us know, and we'll make arrangements to get it done. We've recently installed a system where you can now pay your land taxes with a card. Couldn't do that before, so you can do that now, and you can pay them online. We're pretty much fully automated. You can pay any way that you can pay. We can do it. So, but like I said, if you have some concerns, feel free to call up to the office. It's a 563-4221, and they'll give you any information you want.
So there still will be people
we did.
in the office?
When we shut the lobby back down in the spring, because of this, it didn't slow things down much. I mean, people were able to take care of everything through the window. So we'll take care of you. You know, like I said, if something you can't do through the window, just come to the window and let us know, and we'll get you took care of.
Okay. Andy, what are some of the projects that, now that you've been reelected, you lucky thing, we do have a couple of new aldermen, don't we?
Yes, we have two. Well, we have one reoccurring alderman. Charlie Harold is going to come back on board as an alderman. Of course, Charlie was an alderman last cycle, and Charlie's been a mayor, so Charlie's no stranger to city government. Newly elected, first time out, Hayden Bryson is going to be an alderman. And of course, then we have, that came back on board was Harold Patrick, and Lois Lammer, and Faye Knox, and that's 6, ain't it? Is that 6? Am I forgetting?
We got everybody.
I think it's everybody, so. But,
Well, okay, but what are you looking at? What issues are coming up for the city in the future?
well, one of my things that I like to is street paving. I think street paving is an ongoing thing. We did a lot the last 4 years. We done, we did 5 miles of street paving in my last term. Now, to say 5 miles, you think, well, 5 miles, that's not much. Well, it is.
It's a block at a time.
That's right. So, we completely did all of Brandon Acres. We did all of Houston Hills. We did all of Beaver Dam, and a lot of smaller streets in between. And that's kind of my goal. Our paving projects are budgeted like this. You have what they call street aid money. Street aid money is money sent from the state, and that comes from your gas tax. So depending on what that is, we always try to take that money and then kind of match that or put money with it, and that way we get twice the money for our buck. So paving is one of my things I want to continue with. Some more improvements to our parks. We're going to try to do some more improvements to the parks.
Well, the tennis courts look great.
Oh, I think they turned out nice. They really, I didn't think they'd be that nice, but they turned out good.
And of course, you did the walking track over at Dillon Park.
Yeah, and people I'm getting a lot of good feedback on that. People are enjoying that. Of course, now that the walking track at Dillon Park, was funded by some stimulus money that we got back at the first of the year. So, I want to take the stimulus money that we got from the state and try to spread it out the best I could. Make sure that everybody got to feel it. We could have paved a street, or we could have fixed a sidewalk but then that would have been a street that you travel. or a sidewalk in front of your house. But now
Right.
I felt like the walking track not only benefited the people of Woodbury, but it benefits the people of the county. You know,
Right.
so that was a good way to spend some of that money.
There's a lot of people that use the
Oh,
walking
yeah.
track, there is.
So, especially like I said, you know, I don't know, do you know the senior center, are they back to full-blown?
They are open, but they're on limited hours, and there's also limited services, and they only allow so many.
Well, we noticed,
At a
we
time.
noticed a big overflow from the senior center when they quit doing their exercise programs and stuff. They came over and started using the walking track, so, you know, so that's.
Well, see, even now their exercise room, which was used constantly, they limit your time and they kind of schedule it.
And not only did it improve the walking track, the surface of the walking track was gravel, and it's down there in a floodplain, and it floods a lot. So we were constantly going down there and having to
Fill it more gravel.
take more gravel, and of course now that takes man hours. So now you're talking about, you know, that's money. So it's not only did we use that stimulus money and it didn't cost the taxpayers anything to do it, we'll be saving money. So we'll be able to,
Right.
you know, not be taking money out of our account to fix it.
And of course, Spurlock Park is where your basketball court and your tennis court is. And your tennis court is used by our high school.
That's right.
For their tennis program. So
They're the only tennis courts that we have in town. So, you know, it's not the responsibility of the city to have a tennis court for the high school. But if it's the only tennis court you got, then we need to accommodate them, and so it was getting pretty bad shape, and we wanted it to be not only safe, but when we have somebody else come in from another town to play on our courts, we wanted them to look good. So,
Yep.
you know, yeah, you want to look good.
we want to impress, don't
And
we?
one of them, the upper tennis court will now be pickleball accommodating. I don't know what pickleball is, but we had it striped for pickleball.
Well, I'm not sure
I don't know what that is either, but I know Judge Melton and some of the other girls.
Well, I'll have to find out
They like
what
to play
pickleball
pickleball,
is.
so we had pickleball stripes painted on it. So
Well, I will have to find out what that is. I have no idea. Water tower. We're getting a new water tower, right?
we are.
And everybody is now making Christmas ornaments and pictures of the old water tower.
I want to try to get something done with the old water tower this year. Of course, we lease that tower out. We have a lease program with a cell phone company, and I want to try to get something done. It needs some love, doesn't Yeah,
it?
it needs a fresh coat of paint, and I'm hoping that I can get with them this year and get that done. You know, and because that water tower, the old water tank, that's an icon. You know, it's
Yeah.
you know, so I hope you get that done.
It is.
So.
Have somebody paint a mural on it.
Yeah.
I love the murals, I
Yeah.
do. I think they're colorful, and I see them everywhere now. McMinnville has one as you go into, what's that tool company there? If you look over there on the side of that building, they have one that says McMinnville. It's beautiful. We have several here in
The
town.
Powermatic tool
Pretty.
company out there, is it the Powermatic tool and McMinnville? I don't know what it is.
Do they have one out there?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be part of the conversation. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about
Yeah.
Cannon County because you know that. That is like the man that builds these little structures. I can't remember his name, but one of them is kind of hidden behind the fence down there on Water Street and Doolittle. You know, the turtle over there with the little
yeah, I know
field
the
players
turtle.
on
Yeah, I
it.
know the turtle deal.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I wish we could move that to where people could see it.
Yeah, I wish we'd put that down there in Dillon Park. You know, I wish we'd put it down there in Dillon Park. But
I think it's really,
Yeah.
I think those are unique. You know, I look at other towns, like if you go to Lynchburg, they have that big chair that everybody sits in, or they have the whiskey barrels that have everything on them, you know, all over the whole town. But it's unique and it draws people in. Just something as simple as that, so. Okay, and what else? And you're working on water lines right now, aren't you?
Yeah, we're redoing some water lines on, I believe it's Powell Street and Hayes Street and Mason Street. Redoing some water, there's old water lines. We're
Yeah.
redoing some water lines and resetting some taps and making them more accessible. And of course, that all those streets will be repaved when we're done too, so.
You know, we have we've had a lot of building this year, even with all of this COVID and everything. The storage buildings went in out on McMinnville Highway. Beautiful. They look great where they were at and
The
everything.
townhouses.
The townhouses, I'm not sure who did those for sure, and are they open yet?
I'm not sure if they're full blown open yet. I'm not real sure.
Okay,
You know.
but those are great, and we need housing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then we have some other storage units going in right there,
Across from the co-op.
right across from the co-op.
I don't
so-
guess you can get too many storage units.
Well, evidently not.
You know, I don't guess
I've always told my husband he can't have enough sheds.
well,
You know, they make fun of people like us, like me and my husband, because who was that comedian that used to always make jokes about you had more sheds that were bigger than your house? Well, we're kind of like that.
probably Jeff
We have a
Fox,
barn,
yeah.
3-car garage, another garage off of that.
Think about a storage shed. You build it, you fill it up. You don't sit empty. You don't sit empty. So
No. And my husband's talking about building another one, and I thought, I'd hide it
yay,
somewhere.
more stuff.
Oh, well, the bad thing about that is that's his stuff, so. But anyway, we have had a lot of building go on. We've got some new housing that's being built down here on the old Murfreesboro Highway. And I believe those may be for,
Oh, you were talking about Ronnie Nichols.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's not a senior. It's not assisted.
it's not assisted living, it's like for,
I think it's like age limit 55 and you have to be
Right.
55 before you move in there. It's going to be more of like a gated community,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So my understanding is it's going to be like a gated community.
you don't have any upkeep,
Yeah,
they do the
they
upkeep
do the
to
upkeep
them.
and they mow the yard and
yard and
so,
everything.
So.
So that's a good thing.
Oh, it is. So and
Because
then
we have a lot of people that would,
and of course there's going to be, I forget, like 15 or 20 houses, and then they're going to have like a apartment complex as you go in there too. So there's going to be several, a lot of living space down there.
and you know, as bad as things are in some extent, we still, houses and property are selling high.
Oh yeah, property's outstanding in Canyon
It
County.
is. I don't know if it's that way everywhere, but it is here. So,
Of course, we got a new bank coming in.
oh, we
Right down the
do.
street, so
What is that, Hometown Bank?
Homeland Community.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've done good over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Like I said, we have a fast-paced medical clinic.
Yes, we do, urgent
Yeah.
care.
And then, of course, and Tabitha Smith, she thrives. So there's a lot going on.
There is. I was trying to think if there were any restaurants. I don't think there's any new ones,
One
except for Sophia's.
of the things I like to say is this: a town has to grow or it dies.
That's right.
Okay, it has to grow or it dies. But on the same
Token.
token, too fast a growth could be deadly too. So I think Woodbury and Cannon County has a good grasp on that. I know that people want to see things come. They want to see things be built, but we do it at a pretty good pace. So
I always have to laugh anytime they break ground here for anything. I get calls, and it's either a Kentucky Fried Chicken or Captain D's that's going in there.
There's a Captain D's coming?
No,
I
there
love
has,
Captain D's.
there's
Oh.
not. I'm just saying, that's what people
Yeah.
think, and that's what I've heard for years. It's either Kentucky Fried Chicken or Captain D's. And we haven't gotten either one of them
No.
yet.
And I love Captain D's. I wish they'd get here. I wish they'd hurry up get here.
I think that's so funny though, because I don't know, and then people can't decide, they can't understand why we don't have those. Well, they go by rooftops.
There's a whole different, you know, I know that people say, well, I'd eat there, and I just like Captain D's. Yeah, I'd eat there, but now the Captain D's corporation or the franchise, they see it different. You know, they see it different. They do their homework, and they do.
They count rooftops
that's
within
right.
an area
So,
of a surrounding area, so that's how they make their determinations.
you know,
But people think it's because we're just not asking them.
You know, I went, well, we do. You know, you just keep look up Captain D's in the phone book, and you know,
And say,
and
we
call
want
them.
you to come here.
I know that when I first took office, I hadn't been in office probably a week or so, and they had just built the new Waffle House down there on the fort,
Yeah,
on Rotary
yeah.
Boulevard. And so I went, I got up, I was down there 5 o'clock one morning, and I just asked them, I said, hey, who owns this, you know, and they said, if they gave me his name, and I did, I called the fellow and talked to him, and I was trying to get a Waffle House up there, but, you know, it just didn't pan out, so just didn't work out, but.
Well, I went to a seminar one time, actually in McMinnville, and there was 2 gentlemen there. One of them was with, I think one of them was with Hardee's, and another one was a restaurant, and they told how they determined where they were going to go, and that was how it was, is they took a square mile radius and they counted rooftops, and they wanted to know
That's right.
how many were younger, how many were older. That all came into play whenever they decide where they're going. And at that time, our population was less than it is now, so,
Making me hungry talking about these restaurants.
well, I'm sorry. And that was another thing, going back to the COVID, Sonic, who has done tremendous during all of this. Probably our fast food restaurants have done great because
Yeah.
they're drive-in and drive-out. But due to COVID, Sonic will be closed for a while. And it's not because everybody has it there, but once one comes in, then they've got to shut down till the quarantine is over, so. And that just goes on and on and on. But anyway, well, any other projects, Amy? That you can think of, right, that you're gonna be right in the middle of?
That I'm gonna be in the middle of all of them.
Yeah, well, I know, but any that we
Well,
need to know about?
Well, like I said again, we've got our, talking about the water tower. We're gonna start the Parker Hill water tower. That should be starting up pretty quick. That's gonna allow for, that's gonna help our water system in the county more than the city. It's not gonna really help the city much, but it's gonna help the county customers and stuff, so.
Right. Water,
Do what?
water pressure, right?
Mostly it's right, water pressure, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, we'll go on right now. We was just talking about how we're wanting you to celebrate safely. You know, people are eager to get out and do things and go places, and I think everybody understands that. So, well, one thing I will say this, on Thursday, November 19th, the Bloodmobile will be at the Lions Club building. So if you want to give blood, please go out there and do so. I think there's a lot of people in the hospital and their supplies are running low. So if you're able to give, it will be at the Lions Club building. Friday and Saturday will be the 30th annual Cannon Country Christmas. This will be merchants around the square mainly, but there are some that aren't right around the square
Not
that are
this, not this
involved
Friday
in
and
this.
Saturday, not this Friday and Saturday, next Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, it's the 20th and the 21st. What did I say?
You just said next, you just said Friday and
Oh,
Saturday.
no. It's the 20th and the 21st, so don't come this Friday expecting Santa. He's not going to be there. Santa will arrive on the square at 5 p.m. Now, we're not going to have any lap sitting or face-to-face contact. Children will be able to see him, but it will probably be standing, and if you want pictures made with him, bring your own camera. Everybody has a phone, and they can take their own picture. And also in the Cannon Courier, the last 2 weeks, there has been a letter to Santa printed in there. If you can have your child fill that out, I'll have some copies available, and you can hand it to him, or if you can send it to the courier if they haven't got one filled out yet. And I think they have a direct line to Santa. The Christmas tree lighting, which will be done by this gentleman right here, is going to be at 5:15. And after that, Santa will be available for pictures. And most of this, weather permitting, most of these events are going to be outside, except for the shopping. And you'll have to go inside for that. If you're, the Dillon Missionary Baptist Church is going to have their live nativity scene on Friday night. And when I say live, I mean the animals, the people, the baby, everything is live, and it's really something to observe. So whenever you come in for this, it'll be there for your viewing pleasure. We will have Christmas music that will be playing just the outside. You'll hear it anywhere you're at outside, and probably the stores will too. The merchants are going to be open later than usual, and they'll have sales and discounts and special drawings, and they'll have desserts. It may be a little different than what you're used to, because this year they'll all have to be pre-wrapped. There won't be any fresh things that you just go up and get, but they'll have something for you. And it's just a fun time for everybody to walk around, but then like I say, if you want to wear a mask, please do. I'm hoping by then I will have masks available for the ones that don't have it. It's not being mandated, but we do suggest that you do that. Saturday, the stores will open at 10 o'clock and the shopping continues. I'm not sure what special attractions they will have around the square, but I do know that this will be their first Merchants Christmas Parade that night, and it will be right in front of the square. It begin about 4:30, so it should be up to the square by 5 o'clock. And that will be put on by our merchants. And that should be good, because it'll be our first nighttime parade, so we'll see how pretty that looks. But like I say, it's all for the shopping. We want our merchants, they look forward to this every year, and it does help them stay in business. So we want you to be there and enjoy it. November 21st, the Short Mountain Distillery will host their Sip and Shop, that's hard to say, Ship and Shop Christmas craft fair. And it will be from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the distillery. And I have to say, they had the haunted hayride up there for the Short Mountain Volunteer Fire Department. Every year they either help them with the haunted woods. I believe they raised $17,000 this year.
Is that right?
At that event. So that's
more than the county gives them.
Oh, there you go. Maybe I shouldn't have told that. But no, they did, and I think that's great, I do. November 21st, Cannon County Arts Dance Studio will present a Clogging Christmas at the Arts Center at 2 p.m. and the tickets are $10. And there will be, masks are mandated, and you will be seated at a social distance. So Saturday, December 5th, the Woodbury Lions Club will begin the day with pancakes with Santa. And again, you can take pictures or somebody will take a picture for you, but you probably will not be sitting on Santa's lap. But he'll be glad to talk to you and you can tell him what you want. That begins at 7 a.m. The Christmas Village will be set up in the Lions Club building. The Lions Club Christmas Parade will begin at 12 noon. The tour of homes that was usually in the evening will not be held this year. That's been canceled. And then Friday, December 4th, Auburn Town will kick off their Christmas season with an annual Christmas tree lighting plus music in the park. And I'm sure they'll have other special events over there too. And that's about all that I have set up. Andy, is there anything else?
No, that sounds good to me.
And, you know, we don't know what the future's gonna bring, so I hope it doesn't happen, but if for some chance, for everybody's safety, that these have to be canceled, then by all means, listen to WBRY, or it will be on the Courier online too, for either one of those. And I'm hoping that doesn't have to happen, but you never know, if things get worse, we may have to. So, but other than that, we just want to thank you for watching, and we want to encourage you to stay safe. And if you're going to celebrate, celebrate safely.